I'd like to welcome Cummins management team to the presentation today, where we will be discussing the strategic decision facing your firm and which direction you should move with your engine. So I'd like to first introduce ourselves. I'm Michael. We've got Jeff, Jason, Marie, Naomi, and Jamie. Just a quick agenda on what we'll be talking about today. We're going to go over some of the company issues that you're facing. We'll look at your vision, mission, and values and evaluate those. Look at who the main stakeholders are and what their views of the organization are, the financial analysis, our strategic alternatives, and then finally conclude on a recommendation on which direction your firm should take at this point in time. And then we'll have some time for questions. So just quickly looking at the timeline where we're at. So your firm has only been profitable 2 out of the 10 years between 1990 and the 2000s. We currently do require a decision by April 2002 regarding which engine we want to pursue and which direction we want to take the company in. So this is required for the pull forward date of October 1st, and there will be new standards coming out in 2004 and 2007 also, just to note. Some of the issues that facing Cummins at the moment: profitable in only 2 of 10 years, as I just mentioned, between the 1990s and 2000. Current debt level of over $1,196 million. Market share has consistently fallen over the past couple of years from 60% downwards to 30%. And lastly, the engine business unit has lost $209 million in 2001. Next, I'll pass it on to Naomi to discuss the vision, mission, and values.
Cummins has taken the time to create a vision, mission, and set of corporate values through a collaborative process of focus groups across divisions and nations. The positive to this approach is that it will resonate with one of Cummins' main stakeholders, their employees. The unfortunate reality, however, is that it has created something too generalized to be used. Making people's lives better through unleashing the power of Cummins. This vision is not quantifiable and cannot be used as a yardstick against which to make decisions. As Cummins faces a significant decision, how very weak this vision is has come into sharp focus. The mission at first glance appears better. However, when closely examined, the 5 components of the mission don't create a comprehensive strategy map or answer the who, what, when, where, and how. The first 3 are employees acting as owners, exceeding customer expectations, and partnering with customers. Makes sense, but doesn't answer what, where, or when. We don't know what market they intend to play in or who the customers are. The second 2 are ultimately blatantly impossible. Demanding everything they do leads to a cleaner environment and creating wealth for all stakeholders. An engine company can reduce emissions and improve environmental processes, but ultimately any burning of fossil fuels contributes to worsening, not cleaning the environment, and not all stakeholders will gain wealth. For example, the stakeholders that pay the costs of environmental externalities of production. The corporate values of integrity, innovation, superior results, diversity, and corporate social responsibility create the strongest framework for making decisions. We have come up with the following. Will employees feel like owners? Will Cummins be first to market? Will this foster customer partnerships? And is it environmentally sound, and does it create wealth for all?
We've identified 5 key stakeholders in the decision. First, we have customers. A customer's claim on the product is a quality, low-cost engine. For this decision, they're generally against adopting the decree, and some of them are already preparing for the change. The rationale behind the customer's attitude is that they want an engine with low operating costs and great gas mileage. Therefore, compliance would increase the price for them, which would go against the primary value of the engine. Second, we have shareholders. The shareholders' claim is on Cummins' profit and losses. Their preference in this decision depends on what's best for the bottom line. The rationale here is that they will be looking to maximize their profit as shareholders and will want to limit fines as much as possible while potentially being the first to market with a new technology. Third, we have employees. Employees' claim is in the interest of their own job as well as the future prosperity of the company while still being motivated to act like owners. Again, these stakeholders are rather mixed. Their interest is to remain consistent with the vision, mission, and values, but they also want to have the best product and maintain a strong bottom line to ensure job security. Fourth, we have regulatory agencies such as the EPA. EPA's interest is in compliance with the push forward decree by Cummins. They'll be for the early implementation of the new requirements, and their main interest is to protect the public from the negative effects of nitrogen oxides. Finally, we have competitors. Now, competitors are interested in Cummins' support to help with delaying this decree. They are generally against the early adoption of the decree, and they'd like solidarity in the appeal to delay the implementation of this lower threshold, and so that they have the most clout when they're working together. Now Mike will discuss the financial analysis.
Thanks, Marie. So I'll basically just go over the financial analysis of the cost of ownership for a Cummins EGR engine, so the incremental cost customers will face versus our competitors' ones being Caterpillar. So the incremental purchase price will be $3,500 per engine. As well, there will be incremental maintenance in maintenance, warranty, and demurrage for a total of $1,790. Further to this, there will be no EPA penalty on the Cummins EGR engine because it is in compliance with the standards and regulations. However, for our competitor, Caterpillar, there will be a $3,640 penalty because they are above the 3.0 NOx standards that are set by the industry. As well, for fuel consumption will increase with both engines, so $1,050 for the Caterpillar engine, as well as $2,800 for the EGR engine. It is less fuel efficient, however, it does reduce the emissions to the environment. Now, the total cost of ownership, as you can see, is about double, so it's about $8,000 for the Cummins EGR engine and about $4,000 for the current Caterpillar engine. So that's something to take note of. For our customers, they will be facing a cost of about half more for the new EGR engine in $8,000. And now I'll pass it on to Jamie to go over the short-term and long-term market share.
It is noted that customers view engine producers as substitutable. Therefore, with the higher price engine, price-sensitive customers such as Walmart will likely switch to competitors, resulting in decreasing Cummins' market share. In addition, CAT has raised doubts about the EGR technology. Thus, customers which were influenced by this campaign may hold back on purchases due to the risk involved in investing in an untested technology. However, in the short term, Cummins has the potential to be the first to market the EGR engine. Ultimately, this poses the potential to be the first to market and gain customer base that is interested in the EGR engine, such as environmentally friendly customers or customers aware of the 2007 EPA requirements that want to start converting and investing in the EGR engine now. This brings upon the opportunity for Cummins to capitalize on this market and potentially gain a loyal customer base for the future, which will have the ability to become the most trusted EGR engine by being the first to market. Which brings us to the long-term market share. There are stricter regulations coming into play in 2007. Thus, by developing a technology to stay ahead of the game now, Cummins will have the ability to market a tested and trusted EGR engine in 2007 in comparison to other competitors who lag in the release of the engine. This also increases the potential to have a more developed engine by investing in the product now, which will have the ability to be a more efficient engine in comparison to competitors. In conclusion, all stakeholders have equal rights. It is board's responsibility to increase the long-term value of the organization. If stuck in the short-term cycle that shareholders own a corporation, we will never get the sustainability that we want.
If Cummins decides not to produce the new EGR engine, it will be subject to a penalty of $3,640 per engine sold on or after October 1st, 2002. If we assume that the market size and market share of Cummins doesn't fluctuate in these years, it will sell about 35,000 engines each year and incur total penalties of approximately $32 million in 2002 and another $128 million in 2003. If the quantity sold by Cummins increases by 10% each of these years due to market growth or increased market share realized by Cummins, the sum of the penalties incurred will be approximately $36 million and $154 million respectively. This scenario is possible because customers have held off on purchasing in prior years due to the recession. If the quantity sold by Cummins decreased by 10% in each of these years due to market conditions worsening or decreased market share realized, The sum of the penalties would be approximately $29 million and $103 million respectively. We see this scenario as more likely because the EPA penalties will drive up prices, which will hurt customers' ability to purchase. The impact on Cummins' bottom line will be dependent on pricing strategy implemented and the customer's ability to accept higher prices. Because the trucking companies have been hit equally hard by the recession, Cummins should not expect to pass the full cost of the penalty on to consumers without incurring a significant drop in sales. If we assume that Cummins and the customers equally bear the cost of the penalty, and the sales quantity doesn't fluctuate by more than 10% each way, net income would decrease in the range of $14 to $18 million in 2002 and another $52 to $77 million in 2003. I'm going to pass it on to Jason, who is going to go through our options and our recommendation.
Okay, so there's two obvious strategic alternatives, that is to follow the consent decree and to abandon the consent decree. The first, the following the consent decree would allow them to have a first mover advantage, as well as it would be consistent with the company values. There'd be no need to scrap the current work done by the employees to prepare for the new engines, and it would enable customers to be at the front of the green team, as well as it would be in expectation of future technology requirements that would require them to be more fuel efficient. This is positive for the employees and the EPA, but it would be no for the customers, shareholders, and competitors. As far as abandoning the consent decree, this would increase the sales, prevent the loss of customers and market share in the short term, and it would result in the engines being more reliable. So this is yes for the customers, shareholders, and competitors, and no for employees and EPA. We rated these on our decision criteria, as previously discussed in the presentation, and came to a weighting that was fairly close either way, but with a slight preference towards following the consent decree. So this led us to the conclusion that we should take a mixed approach instead of doing one way specifically or the other. That would enable us to capture the early adopting customers and have a market-leading effect, as well as avoid the loss of Cummins customers that are cost-conscious. Then we'd be able to embrace the change that is inevitable for Cummins, so allowing us to keep on the cutting edge. The overall sales of the company for heavy-duty engines is only 16.5%. Therefore, any choice that we have here, although it will be significant on the heavy-duty engine sales, it will not actually impact overall sales too much. So just to conclude again, the mixed approach would allow us to focus on refining new technologies to make them more fuel efficient. We'd allow us to have a first mover advantage, leverage positive public image, and avoid loss of the cost customer base. In conclusion, customer issues, we've addressed customer issues, the limited vision, mission, and values, stakeholder concerns, financial analysis of strategic alternatives, and recommendations. That concludes our presentation, and if you have any questions, please let us know.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway, looking for adventure, and whatever comes our way.
Wait. No. No sleep.
No.
I was just sitting there shaking. I am willing to marry someone.
It's been filming for a while.
And the feeling that